What's up? It's your boy Muscle Mob Car Club, and I'm here with my boy Daniel at Precision Motive. We here to talk about his shop and these badass rides he's building. So Daniel, tell me how you got into the game of being a car enthusiast first.
So I got into the game, a lot of people do. My dad worked on cars for a long time. Growing up, he's had 68 Camaros, Mustangs. He taught me a lot of what I know. Once I turned 16, I knew what I wanted to do was work on cars. So I started working at a Pep Boys, got really efficient at working on cars, built up my tools, and I started working here probably 7-8 years ago. And then I took over officially the business in 2021, and now I've been running it since then. So
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of these badass cars like this one here that you're building.
So this is a customer, Ethan. We got it the car together, and from the body shop when it got painted. But we were tasked with getting the engine and the steering rack to all fit because they couldn't get it to. But we've done a lot more. We've gone through everything, doing brake lines. We did custom fuel lines all underneath it. So all really nice and tucked away. So all custom fuel lines bent up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pulled the engine to get the steering rack to work because they couldn't get it to. So we fought it and got the engine back in there. It's a small block 427, small block Ford. So this one's really cool. So we'll be hopefully, we're on a pause right now on the project, but hopefully getting back on it here soon and finishing it up.
Can we see that engine that's in there?
Yeah. We have a rendering too of what it's ideally supposed to look like when it's done. It's pretty close. You can kind of get the idea of it, but the rendering's really cool.
This car looks badass, man. From
It's
what I'm
a really cool car.
It looks badass.
Everybody loves a 68 Fastback. It's hard not to love them.
Oh yeah. Eleanor.
Yeah, exactly. The guy that painted this one, we did his Eleanor too. He brought us an Eleanor. We went through that thing. It was a really, really nice car.
So this is a, what you say, 427?
Small block Ford 427, yeah. So it makes 600 horsepower, naturally aspirated with EFI, air conditioning, the whole nine. So
what kind of EFI you running on here? Phytech, Holley?
This one runs a Sniper. I'm not a big fan of them, but this one came with the engine and they tuned it all up. So as long as it gets tuned correctly, they run pretty good. But
this thing's gonna be badass.
yeah, this should be a really cool car.
So what's the compression ratio on this motor?
That is probably around 10.5 to 11:1, but still running pump gas 91, so it can cruise on the street easily on a hot day and you don't have to worry about it. So it's safe, 500 horsepower, and yeah, should run really, really good.
Dual electric fan setup on here as well.
Yeah, big radiator, so that way you can run it 100-degree day, AC cranking, no problem. Everybody's comfortable. Especially with a car of this level, we like to overbuild them so that way you can do anything you want with them, never have to worry about it.
That's the plan. That's how you do it.
Exactly.
What about there's this hydro boost here, right?
Yeah. So he supplied a hydro boost, so that's all plumbed and everything. We had to kind of mess with it to get it to work right and fit in there. Mustangs are notoriously tight on space, so we got it in there and plumbed it all. So you don't really see any brake lines. You don't see a lot of the plumbing. We're not done with AC stuff yet, but the brake line runs up and underneath and then out to the other side. So trying to make sure we're doing everything clean and tucked away, especially on these high-end kind of custom builds.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I like that, man. You can see no wires, just nice and clean and everything.
Yeah.
What kind of gauges does he have in here?
I believe car came with gauges already. I think they're running Dakota Digitals. Oh no, he's running Autometer gauges in it.
Autometer.
Yeah. The car came most of the way complete. We're just kind of tasked on getting it together correctly and making sure it can drive down the road and no issues. So we're running back through the car, tightening everything, finishing it all up.
So this thing is badass. Yeah. So tell us about this Caddy. I don't know what your Caddy this is, but this thing is nice.
Yeah, this is a 60 Cadillac. This customer, Bert, he got it off to me because he was having trouble with the airbag system. It would leak down, which is kind of common for airbags, but he doesn't like it. He wanted us to run through it. So we just got done replacing all 4 airbags and a couple fittings that were causing a leak. So we're just kind of testing it out a couple more times and adjust it all to make it ride good. So, and then it'll go back to him. But this thing looks so cool laying down on the ground.
I like it.
It's one of those cars. It's straight. The color is right. It's one of those things you can't not love this thing.
This shit, man. This is a big block under it.
Big block. I think it's a 500 something cubic inch. Yeah, these Cadillacs had big motors in them.
Yeah.
They had to pull all that weight.
This thing is sweet. I mean, I like this look with it's laying down and everything.
Yeah,
this is just slammed.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh. So all you did was replace the airbags on this
Yeah,
thing?
that's all we've done on this one. We do a lot of repair work on a lot of these classics. We kind of focus on our bigger builds, our frame off stuff and LS swaps and kind of our full go-throughs, but we help as many people as we can. I like helping people and getting these cars, making sure they're done correctly, because there's a lot of guys that can mess something up trying to work on cars. So I've worked on a lot of these cars for a long time, so I'm not one of those guys that wants to work on a car that just because to say I worked on it. I've worked on a lot of them. I just want to make sure these cars get together correctly.
Is there one thing that you specialize in?
Not necessarily. We do everything except for paint, body, and interior. So, but I got my interior guy on my street, and I got my paint and body guys. So, we're one stop. You drop a car off to me, you can get fully built, frame off, painted, interior, stereo, a whole nine, and pick it back up. So we do turnkey builds.
You keep him busy in here, man.
Yeah.
So tell us more about the Chevelle
It's
here.
really, really nice.
So, tell me a little bit about this badass build, because this blue is just popping.
So this is a 70 Chevelle for a customer. He's out of Michigan. He bought the car out here, kind of assembled, and he pretty much got it dropped off with us, and pretty much wants us to finish it. There was some stuff that wasn't done to my liking. I have a pretty high standard for what I want my customers, so that way they don't fail when they're going down the road. So some stuff is just not done to my standard. So we're told the customer, if you want a really good car and want it delivered to Michigan, ready to come off the trailer and go, I need to go all the way through it. So we're going back through everything, making sure everything is done how I want it. We're going to test it, put a couple 100 miles on it. And once it's all good to go, it'll ship off to Michigan and he can enjoy it. So this one's got a LS, a 6-liter LS.
With vintage air.
Yeah, so air conditioning. I think it's a 4L80 transmission. This all came pretty much together, so we're going to reuse as much as we can and fix everything else.
That's sweet vintage air. 102 millimeter throttle body is sitting on that bad boy. What does it got? 12-volt posi, 10-volt posi?
12-volt.
12-volt posi?
Yeah, 12-volt with a true track. Which is just a really solid combination. This is what if you want a car that you can get in, hop in, drive anywhere you want to go, not have issues. It's just that kind of setup.
Right. So what kind of rear end gears does he have on here?
This one I think's got 355s. I'm not 100% sure, but this one I think is a 355 rear gear. So something that can cruise. We may step it up. Like I said, it came to us pretty much together. So once we start driving it, putting miles on it, then we'll go back and make adjustments. I'll tell him whether I like the rear gear or not.
Yeah.
So go from there.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Drive it, make adjustments that's needed.
And it takes a lot. A lot of people don't really understand when you build these cars. They're not every one of them's perfect the same time right out the box.
Right.
We put, on our bigger builds, we put 200-300 miles on them before I give it back to the customer, because if anything's going to fail, I want it to fail on me, not on the customer. Exactly. So I don't mind getting stuck on the side of the road, because then I'll just take it back, bring it back here, fix it until I feel it's ready. Then that's when it goes to the customer.
Exactly. That's how most shops should do.
Yeah.
A lot of shops.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you running the shop by yourself? Or?
No. So I have a really, really great team. My two younger techs, Jake and Brian, do really good work. They kind of handle a lot of my repair stuff. I got my lead fabricator, Brendan, who does all my bigger builds. So he does the frame off stuff. He does the custom work. I kind of leave him over here in this side of the shop with all the fabricating tools and let him run. He turns my ideas into reality. So I help him a lot and kind of tell him what direction I want to go. I've built cars for a long time on my own, but now that I run the shop, I kind of make sure I facilitate everybody else. And I got my office administrator, Deborah, who helps me on the office side, make sure that everything administratively is going smooth, so that way I can focus on the shop.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So tell me, you got all these customer cars, but do you have any cars yourself that you're building?
Yeah, I got a couple cars. I got two 72 El Caminos. My first one was my first car, like I mentioned. That thing will never go anywhere. It's got a pretty healthy small block. It's run 4-speed, old school, carbureted. I use that thing to autocross. I've been autocrossing for a number of years. I do Good Guys and a couple other races, but haven't in a while, just been focusing on the shop. And then my other one, I bought off a customer who inherited it, didn't really want to do too much with it. It was super clean, so that's my cruiser. I'd get in it, turn it on, drive it anywhere I want to go, rides like a Cadillac.
I get it. That's how you do it.
Me and my buddy have a S10, a 92 S10. That thing will eventually turn into like a 7-second drag car. Goal is twin turbo big block built by my guy, Hall of Fame. So that way we can run 850s on a drag and drive like Rocky Mountain Race Week or Sick Week, and then go to the track and turn it up and run 7s. So that's the idea for the future for that one, but this shop takes up most of my time. So
hopefully I'm still around to see that bad
boy when it
comes to fruition.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for talking with us about your shop.
No problem.
The badass rides you're building. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much,
you guys
my friend.
coming by. We always have different stuff in here, so you're always welcome back. See what's new, see what's coming through.
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad to be back.
It looks
fantastic.
It looks really unassuming outside, but we've spent most of the effort getting into here.
LSX 376 supercharged.
So this is a B15 crate engine that we got from GM, which is cool because these come with a 2-year, 50,000-mile warranty, and they're rated to handle boost. So we're running a 3-liter Whipple supercharger, 480 trans, Holley controlling everything, Holley Terminator X Max, which is what we use a lot of. So this one's a really, really cool one. We're about 3/4 of the way through, so wiring, some more plumbing.
First fire coming up soon.
Yeah, first fire should be towards the end of October. So I just finished up welding up the headers to get Cerakoted, and this one's going to be really cool.
Is this on your personal vehicle or customer's?
No, customer's build. So this is John and Kathy's 66 Suburban. They've allowed us to go all the way and do it right. So it started as kind of get the motor in there, and then now it's turned into we're going all the way and we're hiding everything as much as we can, doing it as clean as possible.
It's nice. It's nice. If you don't mind me asking, man, who painted this? Because this paint is just blinging.
It's really, really nice. So it's a kind of a modified old International Scout color. My guy next door, Robert, over at Grand Collision, or not Grand Collision, at Bridges Collision, he painted it, shaved the engine bay. So we had Will Cubano built. He came in and did some fluorescent repair, flattened the firewall a bit. We had to make a couple custom pieces. So like this piece over here, normally on the trucks, they bulge out like this.
Right.
So we ran a bead roll to kind of match the other side and flattened it since we did a new steering setup. But we sent it over there. They body worked it all, got it painted. So this color will eventually be all the way on the outside. But right now we're kind of doing this part since we're over here. I told them, let's just do it now, and you can always do the rest later.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, this is badass. Even under the hood is already done.
Yeah, so we'll end up putting lights in here underneath the hood, so at nighttime or whatever, he can click on a light and shine, because you got to have the pearl showing. You cannot paint it this color and not show it off a little bit.
This is a badass car.
Yeah.
Badass Suburban.
Yeah.
So what's underneath? What kind of suspension is this thing running?
So this is running full QA1 suspension, Ford 9-inch in the back. It's got a fuel cell all the way around or out the back for fueling. Big 2,000 horsepower capable pump. So that way, same thing like I said, overbuilt, and radiator's huge, AC condenser's huge. So he can run this thing 100-degree weather, AC on, family in the back, kids in the back, and still have 800-900 horsepower on tap. So
that's how you build them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I see you got the Terminator in here.
Yeah, so a lot of electronics underneath the seat, so it's kind of hard to stuff everything in there without hiding it all. So we wired everything underneath the seat, so once it's all in there, once the interiors, that'll all get covered and you won't see any wiring.
Right.
So
this thing is going to be a badass, man.
10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag.
Yeah. So, man, as a car enthusiast, I need to get on the ground and look at this, man. So if you take a second here, hold my mic for me. Let me take a look down there.
So we did a no limit engineering rack and pinion setup on this one, so that way it's nice, tight, fast steering. Suspension and brakes we've gone through, make sure everything's good and solid.
Oh, damn, I see those QA1 sway bar and all that up there.
And we fully box the frame, being it's going to have a lot of power. The frame is boxed pretty much from behind the engine all the way out the back. So we did make custom plates to box it all. Exhaust is going to run through the cross member, so we have custom dimple-dyed holes in the cross member. So
yeah, this thing is going to be badass. So what kind of exhaust did you say is going to be on here?
It'll probably get a MagnaFlow. We're still kind of debating, but it'll be a full 3-inch exhaust all the way out the back. So you got to snake them through because these frames are long and they got a lot of stuff in the way. But it's just one of those things. You just got to build it and handle it once it comes.
Are you doing exhaust too in-house?
We can. I don't do them a lot because it's more efficient. So when I'm building this car, I'm always looking at what's cost effective for the customer. If they don't need or don't really want that level, they don't need a full TIG welded stainless exhaust or something, it's better me get my exhaust guy out in Livermore, Steve at Livermore Muffler. He's his cost, and that's what he does all day long. Let him build it. It's going to be less costly to the customer. It's not something they're really super, I don't want that detail level. So, I'm always looking at what's cost effective for the customer too.
Right. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
So